Make sure to subscribe to the Volume YouTube channel so you can catch all of our shows and get what everybody wants, more of me. Let's start with the most exciting ending of the day. Green Bay holding on to beat the Baltimore Ravens and backup quarterback Tyler Huntley, who's really incredibly fun to watch. He's a backup to Lamar Jackson. He played very well. He's a handful. So John Harbaugh may get some criticism. We live in this world now. Any coach going for it on fourth down years ago was a hero, and now we crush him for analytics. I would have gone for it. Here's why. It's the end of a game. Green Bay's defense has struggled to stop Tyler Huntley situationally. It's the end of a long drive, and they're pretty gassed. And you've got him on the precipice of beating him and not having to go to overtime against Aaron Rodgers. You see what happened Thursday with the Chargers? You go to overtime with Patrick Mahomes. You go to overtime with Aaron Rodgers. You go to overtime with Tom Brady. It doesn't turn out well. That's the power of Aaron Rodgers. So I look at it. End of a game, Packers on the road, get them to travel. They've been on the field a lot in the second half. They're struggling to stop Tyler Huntley. He's also a guy that can do things on script. He's accurate, off script. He's got a great tight end, some real nice momentum on that drive. I would go for it. You know, it used to be when coaches went for it in fourth down, we celebrated them. Now we crush them. There are situations I would kick field goals. That wasn't one of them. Never forget, the situation was a tired Packer defense that was struggling to stop Tyler Huntley. He was playing with momentum and confidence. He's got a Hall of Fame level tight end. I thought the Ravens lost the game, but you'll never lose a locker room going for it in that situation. These are alpha males, highly aggressive. They didn't want to go to overtime against Aaron Rodgers either. My second thought of the day is that we all know the way it works with quarterbacks. There are some teams that have great quarterback talent and great weapons. The Chargers, the Buccaneers, the Rams. There are teams that have very limited offensive talent, but great quarterbacks. Buffalo, outside of Stephon Diggs, average offensive line, could use another receiver, average backs. And then we know there are teams that have really, really good weapons and average quarterbacks. Cleveland and Minnesota. Vikings have Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, and you're stuck with Kirk Cousins. Ask yourself this today. Couldn't I also throw the Dallas Cowboys into that? They no longer throw the ball down the field. It's not the weapons. Their longest completion was Amari Cooper, 19 yards. Dak and Dunk, since the first week of November, has once again appeared. Injury, confidence, play calling. You can't blame Kellen Moore, right? Everybody loved Kellen Moore. Zeke and Tony Pollard aren't completely healthy, but they shouldn't have to be 100% to be able to engineer an offense. We know the New York Giants are an abscessed tooth of a franchise. This game was fairly competitive with 8 minutes to go. And I think Dak is getting into that sort of Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins category, where the weapons and the O-line is better than the quarterback. Since the start of November, there have been 4 different instances when Dak Prescott is averaging 6 yards an attempt. And now teams are picking up on it. Teams don't respect him. It's getting worse. So, I've said this. There's a handful of great quarterbacks in this league. And because people like Dak Prescott, they try to nudge him and move him toward that group. He's not in that group. And with that, let's pivot to New England's Mac Jones, who's finally struggled for the first time in 7 or 8 weeks. There's only 6 quarterbacks in this league that whether they're trailing or leading, they play the same. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert. To me, they're the Super Six. They're either magnificently talented or they have so many snaps at center, pre-snap, they can throw and everybody knows they're throwing. There's 6 of them in the league. There's a bunch of other really strong guys. There's moments Joe Burrow has some of those qualities. There are moments Kyler Murray has some of those qualities. But Kyler Murray has struggled situationally in 2 or 3 different games this year when he trailed and had to throw in a big spot. So it's not a surprise that Mac Jones struggled. He doesn't look the same trailing. Either to 24 other guys. Again, it's Aaron, Brady, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert. I can't really tell if they're leading or they're trailing. I can't. But Mac Jones, he's a better version of Tua. And that's what's interesting about this league in quarterbacks, is that Tua's won, 6 straight? Mac's won, 7 of 8? If you have a great defensive coach, Bill Belichick, Brian Flores, and I feel like Tua is a lesser version of Mac Jones. Not dynamic, not overly powerful arm, doesn't make a ton of big mistakes, although Tua did have a pick 6 against the Jets. You can win a lot of games in this league. You're not going to win Super Bowls, but Mac Jones and Tua, you can win a lot of games. Between the two of them, I think they've won 12 of their last 13 games. Great defense, don't make mistakes, win close. And so I've never really thought of the Patriots as a team that would hoist a trophy this year. But Miami and New England are proving, even limited quarterbacks with the right defense, the right coach, and a decent running game, you can win 70% of your games in this league. You know what team is fascinating to me? The San Francisco 49ers. So we all wrap our arms around Kyle Shanahan. We like him, right? The special teams of the Niners, that's his responsibility, continue to be a problem. The defense is good, but I can't give him a ton of credit for that. It's not his side of the ball. And the offense is only good with Jimmy Garoppolo. Aaron Rodgers is an all-time talent, sat for 3 years behind Favre. And I'm not comparing Garoppolo to Favre. But Trey Lance, if Jimmy Garoppolo finishes this season and gets to the playoffs, will have played 1 game in over 2 years. There's a reason Trey Lance isn't playing. Jimmy Garoppolo's got the locker room, got the momentum, and got the better game right now. I think it's fascinating. What do you do with Jimmy Garoppolo? Because if you watch the Niners play, they're going to go in as a lower NFC seed, and you and I all know they're going to give somebody fits. It's going to be Green Bay, Tampa, the Rams, or Dallas. I mean, they are physical on both sides. Even at wide receiver Deebo Samuel, the Niners are totally physical. They're going to knock somebody off. Jimmy Garoppolo's got a great opportunity as a road dog to knock somebody off. Where are you going to go with him? I mean, clearly he's super close with George Kittle. Clearly the offensive line, Deebo Samuel. I mean, he targets the right guys. He gets it to the right guys. I've said this before. He's the unique quarterback. He's better in the 2-minute drill than he is in the first quarter. He always starts out a little slow, gains momentum and confidence, plays very well in second halves and late in games and late in halves. I think it's fascinating. What do you do with Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, the bottom line is you go to camp next year. If he's taken you to the playoffs and won a game, he's a starting quarterback. How much better does Trey Lance have to play to beat Jimmy Garoppolo out? Peter King suggested this to me about 3 weeks ago. They're not going to trade him. You'd be crazy to trade him. Go look at this league. Baltimore had to play a backup quarterback today. Arizona this year's had to play a backup quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks going down. So I think my point with Jimmy Garoppolo, the special teams aren't great. Kyle Shanahan doesn't get credit for the defense. And he doesn't win without Jimmy Garoppolo. Can we all admit this? That Jimmy Garoppolo's got a lot more leverage and a lot more power in this situation than anybody wants to realize. He's a gamer. They don't win unless he plays, period.